I wish to acknowledge the ancestral lands of the Gujigan peoples of the Yugambeh Nation where I now live, Karabi, and their elders past and present. I acknowledge and respect their continuing culture and their contribution they make to the life of the city of Logan and this region. Who I am is viewed through the lens of my distinctive faith and cultural traditions inextricably linked to notions of family, neighbours, and a member of the global community. I identify as an Australian Muslim with Anglo-Arab heritage. My husband was born in the now-occupied Palestine. His identity as an Australian Muslim is meted with trauma associated with his lived experience as a stateless displaced refugee. My children identify as Australian Muslims from a Middle Eastern background. Many of our traditions, values, and beliefs are transmitted and typically practiced in the language of Arabic. Arabic is the key to our ontology and epistemology. This introduction, while personal and enabled via my own worldview, reflects a living aspect of Aboriginal culture, that is, identity with land and primacy of place as an ongoing organising principle. It serves as a reminder to me also of the enduring and resilient nature of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures. I offer this introduction to honour and respect this way of doing, and so that the listener may place me and who I am within this narrative of this digital story. Returning to primacy of place, Karabi, where I live, is in fact an Aboriginal word meaning a place of many springs that connects water from many directions and a place of coming together. I draw on these meanings in a search for understanding of my connection with Aboriginal culture within my surroundings. This process I understand in Arabic as requiring tafakkar, meaning deep contemplation and reflection implying understanding when realized. I reflect upon my surroundings. I observe that water is pure, life-giving, containing regenerative qualities. I observe water is colourless, reflecting the indigenous bedrock of wherever it flows, meaning whilst fluid in form and reflection, its essence is timeless. Equally, I am aware that water that is interrupted, disrupted, or prevented from flowing can become murky or stagnant, impacting on interrelationships and holistically the health of the entire surrounding ecosystem. An awareness washes over me that I have been distracted by discourse framing Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture in past tense, discourse that speaks of an absence or invisibly in daily life of Indigenous cultures broadly. Whilst an undeniable historical silence is evident, shortfalls in connection with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture is apparent to me as being a result of my own naivety and shallow understanding, my inability to see. Searching for meaning and water, I sense that I must move beyond the shallows and immerse myself in deeper waters of understanding and connection. Silence, denial, dispossession, racism, discrimination, marginalisation, disruption and displacement are the markers of colonisation, but they do not represent a window to culture nor to the connection in my daily life. I am reminded through engagement in community and particularly with elders of Aboriginal ways of knowing, being and doing. This tells me culture is alive, self-sustaining, enduring. How therefore do I acknowledge? How do I connect? How do I engage in respectful relationships? It behoves me to reflect on the historical and ongoing impact of colonisation on our family. The lie that was terra nullius, the false premise of a land without people for a people without land, resonates in our family. Without conflating two distinct struggles, a similar premise has seen this ongoing genocide of Palestinian people. As I mourn the suffering of our Palestinian children, awareness overcomes me of our Aboriginal children who suffer conditions commensurate to a war zone, akin to the nightly imagery prevalent in my house. This has caused me to question, has my lack of acknowledgement and connection rendered me empty, akin to the waterway run dry? I feel compelled to invoke Freya and challenging myself, who have suffered directly from the colonial experience. Have I, the formerly unprivileged and oppressed, used my newfound privilege to become a new type of oppressor? Am I adding a further layer of colonisation upon our first Australians? As I struggle with these emotions of fear, grief and sorrow, I look within my own ways of knowing in order to renew my connection to purpose. My purpose to search for my own humanity. What it means to be human reminds me of the custodial ethic and notion of honourable ancestry. This, I believe, provides me with the common ground with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples and the window to connection.